Hello and welcome back to the Retro Gaming Collective. My name is Aaron and today I'd like to talk to you about actually a brand new game. It's called Call of Duty WWII. Now this game actually came out on November 3rd, which was this past Friday. And I actually beat the game last night, which was November 4th. So I haven't really sat down and played a game all the way through in like just a few sittings in a very long time. And I actually really enjoyed being able to do that with this game. I didn't expect to. But I actually had nothing else to do yesterday, which was great. So I just played the game. I didn't really get a whole lot of time to play multiplayer, so I'm not going to really comment much on that. So I'm going to really try to focus on the campaign of this game and my opinions of it, as well as kind of talk a little bit about the World War II video game genre in general. So I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible, but it's not going to be possible for me to not spoil certain things. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, I would click away now. And if not, let's dive right in. So this game starts a lot like pretty much any other World War II game. It starts when on June 6th, 1944, you're on a PT boat and you're storming Normandy. It felt very Saving Private Ryan-esque. It was very, I mean, again, if you're going to be doing a World War II game or TV show or movie, and you're going to involve Normandy, you're going to have to take a couple of things from Saving Private Ryan, or even HBO's Band of Brothers, which was an excellent series if you haven't seen it. So this game, it starts there and it takes you up until about March of 1945. It might take you a little bit further in the epilogue. So one thing that I find really interesting about the World War II genre is a lot of these games really only focus on June 6th of 1944 through May 8th of 1945, which is VE Day, Victory in Europe. But there was a whole lot of other things going on during World War II that just really haven't been covered. I mean, when you think about it, Germany invaded Poland in 1939, and Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941. We also were in war in Italy, where we were in war in Africa with Rommel. And I'm speaking, of course, as an American, so I apologize, you know. But yeah, I mean, there was just so many other things going on that just are not covered. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. Now, as far as this European theater, I think this is probably the most interesting part of World War II, which is probably why we see a lot more movies and video games about it. Now, what's great about this game is you get to see a pretty good sampling of a lot of the weapons, the vehicles, the different battles that took place, the famous battles. So you do get to drive a Sherman tank. You get to use pretty much every weapon that existed in the era. You get to fly a P-47, which is amazing. I thought it was really cool. You get to shoot the flat cannons and all kinds of different stuff. So I think it's really cool from a historical standpoint. You do get to see all those different things, and you get to revisit some of those major battles, one being D-Day. Another one for me, which is one of my favorites and one of the most interesting to me, which was the Battle of the Bulge. And if you did watch Band of Brothers, it felt very much like that. So at that time in the Battle of the Bulge, the U.S. was surrounded on every side by the Nazis. So they were kind of encircled. And this was, I think, Christmas of 1944. And it was freezing. It was very, very cold. They didn't have any way to get supplies. They basically just had to live off what they had. They had like no ammo, no winter clothes. So it was a very, very difficult time, I think, for the U.S. troops during World War II. And you really get a sense of that in this game. You're kind of going from foxhole to foxhole, delivering rations, delivering, you know, ammo, things like that. And you really get a sense of you're stuck there with nobody around except for your group. So I think that's really cool. Now, I really enjoyed the campaign, like I said, as far as the historical aspect goes. So I liked revisiting Battle of the Bulge and Normandy and things like that. However, the story of your individual character, you know, I know they had to include some kind of story about the characters, but I found it kind of lacking, personally. Until the very end. There was a very interesting twist at the very end, and I'm not going to ruin it for you. because I enjoyed it, and I think it would be kind of cool for you guys to experience without me ruining it. But you're playing Private Red Daniels, and your best friend is Robert Zussman, who is a Jewish American, and I think it's really interesting, his story arc, because again, obviously the Holocaust was a big problem during that theater. I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep clicking this. So hearing kind of his perspective on things and what he went through as a Jewish American during World War II, I think that's really cool. And you also get to see Josh Duhamel as Sergeant Pearson, who is a very interesting character. And that's all I'll say about him. Now, when they're talking about Private Daniels, they talk about his family. You find out that his wife, and this is a spoiler, you find out that his wife's pregnant. He gets offered to go home, but he ends up deciding to stay with his friends. Now they talk about his brother and some of the things that he went through as a kid with his brother, and how it fuels him in war. Again, I didn't think it was a very cohesive story to what was going on, but there were definitely some interesting aspects. Graphically, the game looked great. I really enjoyed everything as far as that goes. My only complaint really would be your character's personal story arc. But again, historically, it feels great. Being able to use all the historic weapons and the vehicles, and I just thought it was great. And I'm really looking forward to jumping in and playing more multiplayer. Now, at the end of the day, if they made a World War II 2 game, I would probably purchase it at this point. Up until this point, I haven't really played a whole lot of Call of Duty since Black Ops. No, actually, I'll say Ghost. Ghost was the one that lost me. I didn't play Infinite Warfare or Advanced Warfare, but I did play Ghost, and that was rough for me. I didn't really enjoy it. So this one kind of sucked me back in. If they keep pushing stuff out like this, I'll be happy. Just again, I wanted to make a quick video to talk about my first impressions about the game, the campaign. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy the game. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. You can reach out to me on Instagram at the Retro Gaming Collective. You can comment, you can leave a message, you can of course subscribe to see more like this. And again, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I know there's a lot of other content out there, so definitely appreciate it, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Happy gaming. Hopefully I'll see you online. Bye-bye.